Hi, everyone. I'm just going to wait a few moments here to let everyone trickle in. But in the meantime, if you want to introduce yourself and where you're joining us today from in the chat, that would be awesome. So you can find the chat there at the bottom bar. Awesome. Hey, Colin, coming in from Washington. Nice. Jackson. Very cool. Amazing. Nice to meet everyone. Awesome. Well, I'll begin by introducing myself. My name's Nina. I'm from Localine. If you're not familiar with what Localine is, we are an e-commerce platform built specifically for farmers and food hubs. And today we're very excited to have a very special guest. Jarrett is joining us here from Grass-Fed Marketing by Farm Rebel. Just a few quick housekeeping things before we jump into Jarrett's presentation. If you have any questions for Jarrett throughout the presentation, we have that Q&A box that should be at the bottom screen there. So if you have any questions for him, just pop them into the Q&A box. We'll collect a bunch of questions, and then at the end of his presentation, we'll go through that. So be sure to utilize that tool. This webinar will be recorded, so if you have to jump off at any point, we will send out a recording afterwards. All right, so I'll begin by introducing our special guest. So we have Jarrett. Jarrett Hammonds is a leading expert in direct response marketing. He serves as a marketing director for Farm Rebel, an organization dedicated to empowering family farms and ranches through innovative direct-to-consumer marketing strategies. So today he's going to give us a special presentation on the 7 steps to 7 figures selling direct-to-consumer. So without further ado, Jarrett, take it away.
Hey, thank you so much, Nina. Yeah, so 7 steps to 7 figures selling direct to consumer. Admittedly, a hypey title. Usually when we share the name of this, a lot of people go, that's impossible. In fact, when we run ads on Facebook, a lot of times we have people saying this is a joke, this is fake, this is a scam, this is BS, but you'll see that it's actually a strategic system to generate the kind of leads that it takes to turn into actual sales for your farm or ranch or your farm to table business. So we have clients who have done that. This is coming from a place of actual action. We have a number of clients who've done that, turning 6 figures a month into 7 figures a year. And it's just really incredible. So before we get started into the how we do that and the system behind it, if it works, I want to show you a few videos of real life people that we work with, just so if you're coming in here with a little bit of skepticism, which you should, healthy skepticism is important in the internet age. It'll help kind of alleviate some of that, let you know, hey, we're one of you. We work with clients just like you in the same situation who have turned around what they have into a winning victory. So with that, let's move forward and I'll introduce you to a few people in our presentation here. So this is Catherine Kearns. She has a really cool business. Her family owns a ranch and they do processing here in the States. And she has a really cool story. Just a quick minute from her, just to let you know, hey, these are real life people that we work with. So here we go.
We heard about grass-fed through one of our processing customers who came in and was all excited. She was abuzz about it because she had just signed up after using those strategies to sell honey. And she said it was gangbusters. They sold out their honey immediately. They made a crazy amount of money for it. She was still in shock. So I looked into you guys and I was skeptical at first. I walked into it really skeptical. Christmas from 2021 to Christmas of 2022, we 10 times our business just with the grass-fed strategies and the buildups and all of that, and switching to some more steady email marketing. And so that was really encouraging. And I love being able to share share that with people when I talk to them, because I feel like I got into the marketing side and I thought there's legitimate things here, like there's some good information, and but now I have the data to prove that it was good and helpful. So grass-fed's been wonderful for us. It helped us relieve some of our inventory issue and change up some of our strategies so that we can move forward like without the bank and without having to deal with inventory, and streamlining a lot of our processes. And I would 100% recommend grass-fed to new customers or to ranchers.
Yeah, cool. So a couple things here with what Catherine was saying. Number one, she's referring to us as grass-fed. We actually are in the middle of a rebrand that people even inside of our program aren't even aware of yet. So you're getting a little bit of an exclusive here. We started out as a brand or a company called Grass-Fed Marketing, which was great because our founder started as a grass-fed farmer and rancher, but it made people who feel like they had animals that they were finishing on grain, it alienated them, and they felt like, oh, well, this isn't for me. Well, it's for everybody. Anybody who is a local producer of any kind. So we rebranded with this Farm Rebel thing because we have common enemies in the industry, and we stand for things that others may not. So, and you'll see that as we move forward. But I just want to clarify, we are currently in that transition between Grass-Fed Marketing, Farm Rebel. So currently we are Grass-Fed Marketing by Farm Rebel. So there's that. So success story number 2, and there's only 2 of these. So here we go. Here's our second one.
And I had to do a third of the amount of work to get the same amount of sales. It gave me a new sense of confidence. Last year, I think we sold, I don't know, 60 head probably of bulk beef and quarter halves and wholes. And just selling by the hanging weight and that logistical nightmare of the back and forth between the butcher and the customer and expectations of what they were going to get was stressful for me with a very low profit margin. And now I'm able to control my costs so much more. It's very streamlined. Everybody knows what to expect out of each other, and the profit margin is way higher. So I had to sell a third or a quarter as many cows and pigs this year as I did last year to make the same amount of money. The first 2 days, no, the first 36 hours of opening day, we did, if you figured deposits and remaining balance, total sales just in the number of head was like 27,000 in 36 hours. I was like, I'm sold, this works. Farming, I think, should get treated just like any other business. And oftentimes it's not. It's not looked at as a business. It's looked at as a lifestyle. And that's just simply not right. It should get looked at as a business because we're the backbone of America and we have a super important job of, feeding this nation. So we deserve a decent lifestyle just like anybody else.
Yep. Who here could agree with that? Farming, so often the public looks at us as, you guys should be a nonprofit. You're feeding people. But the fact of the matter is, if you're buying from a local producer, you're buying a premium product that has real ramifications tied to the business. It's the difference between success or failure, season to season for a lot of us. And so it's funny how the general public, they look at us as some kind of organization that should just be giving things away or selling at cost, when in fact, it actually costs us more to produce. And we'll talk about that a little bit later, but I love what Darian was saying there. And she's seen some great success even since this video. And anyway, I just wanted to share those 2. Typically, when somebody has something for sale, they'll share testimonials at the end of a presentation. But I just wanted you probably have not met me or even heard of my company. So I just want to start by showing these aren't just ideas. They're not just philosophies. This isn't something some internet marketer came up with to sell you. We actually help real families, real local producers make the best income they've ever made with their business. So today, here's what we're trying to accomplish. Number one, if you're growing an existing farm to table business on the direct to consumer side of things, I want to help you do that faster. I want to help you do that faster with the system. The second thing is if you're just now starting up, we want to get you started on the right foot. We want to help you launch quicker so that you can become profitable faster. And so we believe that marketing precedes everything. So if you are in the second group here and you really are in the startup phase, then now is the time to get your marketing dialed in, to start building that list of prospective customers so that when you launch or when you have an offer to sell, you have somebody ready to buy it. So there we go. Those are the goals for the day today. Just these two things. We want to help you with your farm to table business, selling direct to consumer, doing that faster. And then if you're just starting up, we want to help you get started quicker and get started on the right foot so that you can start turning a profit much quicker. So here we go. We're going to talk about direct response marketing. So if you don't get anything else from me today, first of all, that would be a shame because I'm going to share a lot of things with you. But if you get nothing else today, remember this term direct response marketing, Google the heck out of it, learn it, become passionate about it, and just apply it to your business. Again, if you don't learn anything else from me today, you want to take direct response marketing principles and apply them to your farm to table business. So what is direct response marketing? It's a marketing strategy. It's a marketing philosophy, really designed to encourage an immediate response from your consumers so that you can quickly generate either new leads or generate sales immediately. So it's a very different type of marketing, which we will be getting into. So, but why does this matter, right? You've heard it said, like, if you build it, they will come. Well, that's not what we want to do here. We want to apply strategy. We want to apply marketing in a way that we can predict results. And so why this matters is to actually stay in business, you need a pipeline of two things. You need leads, meaning people who have raised their hand and said, hey, I may be interested in what it is that you're offering. And the second thing is you need customers who will actually buy. You don't need people who are content with walking by your booth at a farmer's market. You want people who are raising their hand and say, please send me stuff when you have it. And so that's why this type of marketing really matters for business. And so what is direct response marketing? How does this work? How is it different? Why are you making a distinction between direct response and just regular marketing? So here's how it works. We've become accustomed to branding in today's day and age, right? It's the whole Mad Men TV show of you sit around, you think of a clever slogan, you have a nice logo, you slap that brand on a package and see what happens. Or you just take this ad and you just push it out to the masses and see what happens. This is what big brands do. Nike, who spends about $3 billion a year, what they're doing is branding. They want you to look at that little swoosh and know, this is the shoe company. This is the cool shoe company. This is who I want to do business with. Branding. This is McDonald's spending $500 million a year just on ads so that, you know, when you see the yellow arches, that you can get a cheap meal at a drive-through. It's just branding. And the way to think about it in our context is what everybody's doing. Branding is, quote unquote, just getting your name out there. Well, that is a very expensive way to convert a customer or to generate a lead. Okay, because you're spraying and praying. You're just hoping, and hope is not a strategy. With direct response, what we're trying to do is get either a heck yes or a heck no out of somebody at the point of which they're seeing a piece of content from you, whether that's an ad, a post on social media, an email. We're looking for a direct response. We're looking for immediate action so that we know, hey, did my effort work? Or is there something that needs to be tweaked? Is this measurable? I like to say, if you can't measure it, it didn't happen. So if you've accidentally gotten a customer by just getting your name out there, it didn't happen because it's not repeatable. It's not trackable. You don't know how you did it or what you did and why it worked. So you can't reverse engineer it into a way to scale it to grow a real business. It's spray and pray, it's hoping, and hope isn't a strategy. We want to use direct response principles, timeless principles, marketing that's been around for about 200 years at this point, that has worked from generation to generation and just tailored to whatever mediums we're using. In our case today, we're going to talk about using direct response marketing on the internet, because it's cheaper, because we're just moving pixels around. We're not actually having to deliver paper and magazine to people to get them to consume our message. So that's what we're talking about today. Direct response marketing is eliciting either a heck yes or a heck no response. And how many of you know sometimes a heck no response means you just saved yourself from a headache of a customer, somebody who's going to complain about the product, they're going to want a refund, but they're going to want to keep the product, and then they're going to badmouth you online, and it's just going to be a headache. Sometimes that heck no is such a favor to our business, even if we've spent money to acquire that lead or customer. So we want a direct response, heck yes or heck no. We don't want to just get our name out there. That's a game that the big boys play. That's a game that multi-million-dollar conglomerates play, corporations play, because they can afford the long game on that, which is getting your name out there, spending millions, in many cases, billions of dollars over years to acquire customers and to stay at the front of somebody's mind. And that's not the game we can play. The game that we can play and actually win as a farm to table producer is by doing direct response marketing. So hope that made sense for you, because there was a lot in there. Again, if you get nothing else out of this, Google direct response marketers and start studying what they're teaching that you can apply to your business. But when it comes to Farm Rebel, we've actually broken down 7 steps to generating 7 figures. Again, you've heard from a few people that are our clients right now. We have 7-figure earners in our stable of clients. And so not only is this just what we're teaching, it's what people are actually using to generate those kinds of results. So you'll see here, step 1 through 7 is we're going to talk about your customer avatar. We're going to talk about pricing philosophy. We're going to talk about funnel building. We're going to talk about traffic. We're going to talk about email. We're going to talk about optimizing all your effort and then how to scale it. And so what are these things? Well, this is essentially our outline of what we're going to be discussing today. So how we can actually start seeing results in our business. So the first one is we need to build a profile of our ideal customer, what we call a customer avatar. Avatar is not just the blue people in the James Cameron film series. This is a representation of your ideal customer. That's what avatar means. It's a representation of your ideal customer. And why do we want to narrow this down? Well, it is expensive to be all things to all people. That's branding. And direct response marketing, we want to pick a client type, because that way, when we can define who our ideal client is, we now know how to reach them and how to put the right offer in front of them, how to move them to action when we know that customer intimately. And so in this case, we don't believe that just anybody with a credit card makes a customer. And it would be hard to market to everybody who has a credit card. So we want to narrow it down to a small niche of people that we can actually locate. We can find them online, and we can put our marketing in front of them who are most likely to buy and who we really would prefer to do business with. This really comes down to who can we serve really well. In our program, we've actually identified 6 buying types within the farm to table industry. This is a version of that, tailor-made to actual customer that you could find. So we want to know all about Samantha Smith. We want to know her age. We want to know her gender. We want to know what she does day to day, how she spends her time. We want to know her family's income. Can they afford and even prioritize our type of product? We want to know, is she smart? Is she educated? Does she understand the types of things and the offers that we're putting in front of her and how they might work? What is she interested in? This helps us identify where we can find her in pockets of people online to market to her, and what are her buying behaviors. Now, is she going to prioritize buying direct from a farmer, or is she okay running to a Walmart or another big box store just to buy her food? If it's somebody who is comfortable going to the grocery store and health isn't a priority, or this certain flavor profile isn't a priority, she will not make a great customer. Convincing somebody who's shopping at Walmart to spend more money with you to get less is going to be a tough sale unless it's the right person. So this is a way that we can start breaking down who is our ideal customer. For you right now, maybe you're in business already. Maybe you have an idea of this is kind of the type of person who really does well with us. When we ask them to buy something, they buy, they're happy to buy, they're happy, they stick and stay, they refer other people. And so we want to know, who is that currently in your business and how do you get more of those? So then you can kind of reverse engineer your customer avatar. You can really build out that profile based on people who you're already attracting in your business, because you know currently what you're doing is working to attract that kind of customer. So who's your favorite customer? What are their characteristics? And can you put that into a customer avatar profile so that you know how to start finding more of these people online to market to? So what we want to do is when we're putting marketing together, we want to be able to speak their language. They want to know that we're one of them, that we're for them, that when they show up to where we're at, they're in the right room. And so that's the point of why we want to be able to speak to our avatar. So it's important that we know, hey, what is Samantha's story? So she's a stay-at-home mom. They prioritize health. They're probably busy. They're probably really active family. She probably wants to cook great meals that are healthy for her family. That's how she loves them. That's how she keeps the household moving. But she needs it to be convenient because she's a busy mom. The next thing are, what are her hopes and dreams for herself and for her family? And how does what she eats prioritize? What does that mean for her? What is she trying to aspire to? Is she trying to lose some weight? Is she trying to stay healthy? Does she like to run marathons? What is she hoping to accomplish in her life? What is she trying to provide for herself and for her family and for their lifestyle? And how does your product play into this? So we're on here, we think we're just selling food because everybody's got to eat. That's true. And everybody could go to the grocery store and buy food. What we want to do is we want to tailor what we're offering to be a solution to the types of things that, in this case, Samantha actually is trying to solve in her life. We want to be able to show up with the right offer at the right time to meet those needs, to help her accomplish the things that she wants to accomplish or solve the problems that she's looking to solve. What are her pain points? Okay, does Samantha have gout? Does she have inflammation or gut health issues? Is she trying to solve for that in her life? You get to show up to her in a very different way if she's dealing with health rather than she's just trying to look good for bikini season. That's a different solution for her. And so we get to find people, assuming Samantha has a gut health issue, it's easier to find those people online than just hope and pray that somebody can see the value in doing business with a local farmer. And what is it does she believe in? Does she believe that meat packers are destroying the economy? Does she believe that meat packers are the reason behind inflation? Does she believe that genetically modified food is poisoning the well of society and causing and it's a carcinogen? What does she believe? What is it she believes that we can lean into to serve her in that way? Who are her enemies that we can kind of put our arm around her and throw rocks with? So understanding these things about your customer, your ideal customer, helps you tailor the right message to the right customer at the right time. And step 2, pricing. How much volume can you produce on your farm? So if you look here, we have stats on, some of the bigger industries. So beef cattle, the average industrial farm, not local farm to table producer, not farm to fork, they have 1,000 head of cattle a year. Dairy cows, 700. You see the stats here, right? It's important to note that you cannot play in the volume game. That is what corporations are playing. That's what industrial farms are playing. They can play in the volume game. And this isn't just for the producer. Even the retailers can play a different game because they're playing volume. For instance, there was an article that came out during the pandemic that Costco, they're selling their famous rotisserie chicken at a loss just to get people in the door. It's a loss leader for them so that people will come in there to buy it because they know that they're going to save tons of money on it and they can stock up. Well, while they're in there, Costco knows that they've designed their store in a way that you can't just show up, grab a cart and grab a rotisserie chicken. You're going to fill the cart to the brim and you're going to be $400 out the door when you just saved $3 on a rotisserie chicken, right? You can sell meat, you can sell products at a loss because you know you're making it up in other ways. Or you can sell it cheap. You can make a couple cents or $1 off of it because you know hundreds and thousands of people are going to be making that purchase. And so you're going to make up for it in volume. Local producers cannot play the volume game and win. We can sell ourselves out of business. Many of us are selling at prices much lower than A, we deserve, B, we can afford, and C, that our customers can appreciate, really. So don't sell yourself out of business. You're not playing the volume game. You need to play the margin game. That's the way you can win and actually build a real business out of your farm to table business. So what's the margin game? It is we're selling a premium product at a premium price, knowing that we can't produce as much in volume, but we can still, with the margin we have, make a real income, build a real business, leave a lasting legacy for generations to come, and build the lifestyle that we've always dreamed of, getting to do what it is that we love to do and what we're passionate about. So it's, again, it comes down to volume versus margin. Volume, that's for the Walmarts, the Amazons of the world. That's for the meat packers. That's for industrial farmers. We're playing a very different game. And direct to consumer, we're playing the margin game, where yes, we want volume, but there's only so much we can produce on our own. And so we need to make ours at margin. We need to make our living at margin and produce a premium product. We need to communicate that value and price accordingly. So there we go. That's how we feel about pricing. But how do we acquire these customers? So we talked about Samantha. We want to build our ideal customer profile because we want to have the same enemies as her. We want to speak to her hopes and dreams. We want to speak to how we can serve her and solve problems she's having. So if it's, I'm a busy mom, I don't know how to do all this running to the grocery store back and forth and provide great meals and do laundry and pick up kids and drop kids off and be a good wife. Maybe we have church. Like, how do we help her with her overwhelm if that's what she's facing? Maybe she is a grill master. So if you're raising some kind of meat product, maybe you want to appeal to somebody who's a grilling enthusiast who doesn't like the flavor of the meat or the quality of the meat at a big box store. And you can provide a premium product there. Whatever the case is, whatever your avatar is, we want to speak to that. We want to make sure that we're solving a problem for them. And the next part is we want to only reach out to people who we know can afford it. So when we're running ads, it's funny. We're here in the States, we're probably one of the most hated people in the industry because we're talking about raising prices, helping the local farmer make an actual real income, not have to work off-farm jobs. And on those ads, we always have, you're going to price yourself out of the market. What are you supposed to do if you're on disability? The fact of the matter is, we can't help those people because we can't afford to help those people. It's like the oxygen mask on a plane. What do they tell you to do when you're on a flight? If you experience some kind of catastrophe, what are you supposed to do first? Well, you're supposed to put your oxygen mask on before you can help other people. If you don't get your oxygen mask on, you can become incapacitated and be of no help to anyone. And suddenly you're now a burden to those around you. The first thing you have to do is make sure you're making your living for you, for your family, at the level you deserve, at the level you desire. Put your oxygen mask on, and then you can help other people in other ways. But pricing yourself out of business is not the way to help anybody, right? And then in step 3, we're going to talk about funnel building. Okay, what is a funnel? Why do we need to build one? First, let's talk about a traditional website, right? This is let's throw a website up and hope people buy from us. This might have worked in the 90s when it was a big deal to spend 20 grand and have a website. Right? Before there were people like Local Line that could help us out, before there were ways that you could have a drag and drop builder, before you could actually strategize and have a real strategy, we put up business card brochure type websites. So we would have a traffic of people, a stampede of people coming from, YouTube or Twitter or wherever on social media. And then they would hit our website and they would get there. And it would be all things to all people again. It would be too many options all at once. Where do I click? Where do I go? What can I do? I can do all of these things. And just know this, in every part of your business, a confused consumer doesn't buy. Confused consumers don't buy. So if they're hitting your page and it isn't clear, the first thing you want them to do, the second thing you want them to do, the third thing you want them to do, they'll do nothing. So if you're just throwing up the brochure type website and you're not getting sales and you're like, I put up a nice website, I have real sexy images of my product, why aren't they buying? It's because you probably have a traditional website without a strategy and a logical buying process in there. So they hit there and you're hitting a brick wall on your sales. Your traditional website isn't producing at the level it could. Even if you're currently getting sales, you could be optimizing and converting at a much higher rate. Confused buyers do nothing. But in this case, we recommend putting together a sales funnel. This is typically a one-page type website where this traffic of people that you're pushing from either emails or a YouTube video or something you did on TikTok maybe, or a Facebook ad, which is what we highly recommend is dipping your toe in the Facebook ad. This turns them into leads. So now we can take a lead. We can capture. So taking a lead means we now are getting them in our email list. We now know who these people are who are hitting our site. We can now come back and market to them later, send them offers profitably over and over again. But we turn them into a lead when they hit our site. So they don't just bounce off, go away, and the relationship is over. This is the beginning of a long-term relationship. Then we walk them through a sales process. A lead is now a prospect because now they might buy something because they're interested in what they see and they want to do business with you. Now they're placing an order. Maybe they're even adding a back-end offer to their cart. And then now suddenly these customers become clients. They're here for life. And we try to do this with a sales funnel where we're walking them one page at a time, one action at a time, a logical buying process, or a logical process even just to capture their email, depending on what the goal is here. But see how this is a lot different than hitting the web page traditionally. Your vision is scattered. You're not really sure where everything is, and you click off and go. This is like you get one thing at a time. And you're walked through a logical process. That's what a sales funnel is. It's how we turn a stranger into a buyer through a logical step-by-step process. Now, once we have them, we want to create an irresistible offer. We all think we're just selling a farm-to-table product, but you're actually solving a problem in their life or something that they're aspiring to. It's not all bad, right? It's not all just gut health issues and my gout flare up and I need to figure out what to eat. Some of it is, I want to be a better runner. I want to run a better 5K, or I want to lift, I want to bulk, I want to add more to my bench press. These are all different things that we could be tailoring an offer to. And so we have this here. If somebody is part of your target audience, here's an idea. Here's one of the types of offers we like to throw out there to help people opt into your email list and become a customer, which we'll talk about in just a moment. But if I'm somebody who is part of your target audience, I'm Samantha, assuming you want a Samantha, right? I'm Samantha, I'm a stay-at-home mom, I'm busy, piles of laundry, loads of dishes, trying to be a good wife, trying to be a good mom, pickups, drop-offs. And so we're reaching out to a Samantha and we're saying, hey, we can help you with dinner. Enter this giveaway for $75 of our premium product. Who can help you get these XYZ results, or it's this convenient, or we deliver it right to your door. No more grocery stops. Here we go. We just package it in an irresistible way. This is what you can get if you just give us your email. Now that's an amazing offer to somebody like a Samantha, or maybe it's somebody who is really into grilling. Maybe you're raising a farm-to-table meat product and they're just like, hey, we can help you have the most full flavor, most tender, mouth-watering meat that you can impress your family and friends on the weekends. You can have the best barbecue on the block. I love that alliteration. Write that down. If you're ever going to write copy, best barbecue on the block. And there you go. We say, hey, enter to win. We'll give you $75 worth of our premium beef. You can get these types of cuts. All you got to do is enter your email to win. That's a great offer to somebody who's a grilling enthusiast. So whatever that solution is, you want to tailor an irresistible offer. We like to say this: we try to make our offer, because we're not just selling our farm to table product. We're solving a problem. We're helping people live their aspirations and their dreams. We try to tailor our product in such a way that if presented the offer, if our ideal customer avatars presented this offer, they would actually feel stupid for not taking us up on it. And that's the type of offer we try to create so that we can get that heck yes out of our ideal customer. So you're not just selling your product, you're actually selling an offer. You're making an offer. And that's a much different mindset than just sending them some groceries, right? Step number 4, assuming you have a website, or a funnel, as we recommend, where are the people coming from? This is where a lot of businesses break down across all industries. We put up a nice website, we've paid 10, 20 grand, we've hired an agency, or we're trying to do it ourselves, or we've hired a videographer, a photographer to take great product photos and get great shots of our farm or our operation. But if you build it, they don't come, right? This isn't Field of Dreams here. This is, we put up a nice thing and now nobody's coming. Why aren't we getting sales? And that's because you actually have to push people to your website. You have to push people to a funnel. You have to find pockets of your avatar online and have them, entice them to come, click through to your offer, and begin the relationship there. So traffic. Hopefully these days, a lot of people were comfortable with that term and we understand we need traffic to our website, but maybe not. Maybe you just thought, hey, a website is all I need. Now, why am I not making sales digitally? Well, we need to push traffic there. And here are the 4 ways that we recommend doing that. You could do online ads. Right now, Facebook ads are the best ads you can run in terms of the best platform for ads. Facebook has done a good job of making it where you can really hyper target your Samantha, your ideal customer avatar, in ways that other platforms have not yet. In fact, their AI that's built into their ad platform does a really good job of helping you test your ads to see who these are really working for or what adjustments you need to make. Online ads are great. And right now, we teach Facebook ads all day long because of how well they're working. Comparatively to other platforms. They're not perfect. They're frustrating sometimes, but they're currently the best in terms of what platform you can use. The next one is partnerships. This is the one that's all about scaling. Partnerships are the best way to grow your business. It's a little bit slower because you can't just throw money at it like an ad to get more results. But if you know who your ideal customer avatar is, you know where they're hanging out online, what groups they're a part of, what interests they have. So you know who has their attention online. So we recommend a promotional partnership where, just like you saw on the screen before, where maybe you have $75 worth of your product that you want to do a giveaway for, you would reach out to somebody who has your avatar's attention and say, hey, we want to help you serve your audience. We want to help you with content. We know how hard content generation can be. We want to do a giveaway to help you serve your audience better. And then you just kind of lay it out. I'm a local farmer. This is what I produce. We know that your audience would love some of this stuff, and we just want to help you give some of it away. And any content creator, any social media, any business, somebody who understands how hard it is to create content, to deliver value, and to keep people showing up will know, like, this is a good move. If, maybe even it's a gym owner, maybe it's a restaurant, maybe it's a dance class. It could be anything. Maybe it's a mom's group. Maybe it's a church. Who knows? Whoever your ideal customer is and where they're hanging out, figure out who has their attention and offer to help them with their platform, with their audience, by offering, hey, a free giveaway. So I'm bullish on partnerships because online ads cost money, but it costs nothing except for product. Obviously, it costs nothing to reach out to somebody, DM them on Instagram, knock on their business door, and just say, hey, here's who I am. Here's my product. Would love to help you give away some of this to your audience. Obviously, there's a little benefit here because if enough people like what we have to say, or they like the product, maybe they'll buy. Maybe they'll become our customer in the future. But for now, this is how we get how we get customers. And guys, this is highly targeted traffic. This is the best traffic source. This is where that 7 figures actually comes in. It's the legwork you put into this and nurturing those relationships and those partnerships at scale. So the next thing you can do is organic content. Now, this is where the Gary V's of the world tell you, hey, you need to post 12 times a day. You need to have pillar copy or a pillar content, and then you need to chop it up and put it over all these platforms. You can do that. That's a ton of work when we're trying to raise a premium product and just acquire customers. This is a long-term game, but we do believe in creating evergreen content that you can always point people to when they have questions. It could be your farm story. It could be your farming practices. It could be your philosophy on why you're farming the way you farm, and how you treat other people and how you treat your customers and how they can order and what delivery looks like. So you can create evergreen content that you can always point to, but then when people find you, they make sure there's a link there, always putting them back to a funnel where they can opt in and become a subscriber so that you can send them offers over and over again. And so organic content is a great way to do it, or sharing content. So similar to partnerships, where you go to the right people, you have a certain level of authority. Maybe you've been in business a while, maybe you have some letters after your name, maybe you're an expert in a certain niche. You can create content for other people, have them distribute your content, and then in your byline or throughout the copy, you have a link back to drive traffic. So if you're a good writer, if you're great at doing video content, this might be a great way to help you generate traffic by leveraging other people's platforms as well. Similar to partnership, but instead of helping them give away product, you're giving away information. It's a little bit slower, but it is evergreen. And the last one is groups and communities. Right now, Facebook algorithm is prioritizing Facebook groups. So if your ideal customer avatar, if your avatar is in a mom group or in a group of CrossFitters or in a group of guys who are just trying to grow their biceps, whatever their affinity is, there's probably a group around it. Okay, and then so you can go in there and you can drop comments in, you can offer to do a giveaway in that group. You can create content in those groups a lot of times, maybe with a link back. Try not to be spammy in these groups because you can be banned for that sort of thing. But if you can be a group member who really contributes, you can find your avatar in there and start driving traffic from the group to your funnel or to your page and start the relationship there. So back to online ads. One of the most powerful things about online ads is that you can target. So I talked about you can target your avatar, but in your online ads, you can actually go to pages they like and run ads to those fans of that page. So if I'm on this Keto's recipe page and there's 1 million followers, you can run ads to this page, to the followers of this page, so that 1 million people are being served your ad. And you know, like, hey, these are the type of people who would want my type of product. That's the powerful thing about the Facebook ad platform currently. Other platforms don't do this as well. And so, and then, by the way, I'm saying Facebook, but all meta companies. So that includes Instagram too. Now, Instagram ads, for some reason, don't seem to pull quite the same quality of customer. It might be an age thing. It might be how they show up online on Facebook, but the Instagram culture, just the way people show up there, not as great, but equally as powerful because it's the same platform that you would build the ad out in. So anyway, back to this, you can actually put your ad in front of the exact people because they're following pages of a certain affinity, a certain niche, a certain interest that you can market to. So that's why we're pretty bullish on Facebook ads or meta ads. And then again, the partnerships. Like, this is one of those things where, you know, I always say the only ship that don't sail is a partnership, but that's about equity. That's about divvying up of responsibilities. The best partnerships are promotional partnerships, where just for clout, just for serving their audience, just to ingratiate their following, is that you can have them promote you. And doing that by a giveaway or a piece of content or an interview. The strategy we currently teach on the front end of our program is do a giveaway And then do one for each partner. Pick the right partner, reach out to dozens, reach out to hundreds so that you can scale, because this type of traffic is going to be people that have high intent to purchase. They're going to be people who are already in the know, who already talk the talk, who are already searching for what it is you offer in a lot of cases. And there's another factor here, and it's the third party credibility. It's not you saying, hey, pick me, pick me. It's not you saying, hey, come buy my stuff. It's somebody else saying, hey, we want you to support these guys. We want you to go grab some free product from them. Enter to win some free product from these guys. This product's incredible. They're great people. I've had a chance to meet them. I highly recommend you go over there right now. One of the lucky winners on my site or on my page or one of my followers is going to win this within the next 21 days or 7 days or 30 days, whatever. And that third party credibility is what makes it work better than an ad. You really can't buy this type of publicity in this way authentically, but this is what you should be focusing on if you truly want to scale a list of buyers. And the next one, again, organic content. Just kind of recapping here. You can create posts on your platforms and other people's platforms that we're calling evergreen. It's not topical. It's not about what's currently happening in the news necessarily. It can be, and that could be a way to drive traffic, but you want to really make evergreen content so that it becomes searchable, so that when people find you, you're positioned as an expert and as an authority on those interests, those niches, that avatar, your product, the results that they're trying to get, the problem they're trying to solve. And so creating organic content when you can is one great way to do it. Again, this is the low and slow version. This is the crock pot version of driving traffic. But it's one that if you're good at it, it could be a strong source of really high intent traffic that really is going to drive people that want to do business with you. And then the last one is, remember, Facebook right now is prioritizing groups in a way that they're not prioritizing just regular posts and followers. So let me give you an example. About 2 to 3% of Facebook followers see your posts. So if you're on your public page, whether it's a business page or your actual profile account, only about 2 to 3% of anyone that's following you will see anything that you ever post. In groups, it's much different. They get notifications when there's a post. It's at the top of their feed if there's a post in the group. It's prioritized a lot differently. Similarly, what we don't talk about, what we don't teach because of just how trends just come and go, is right now reels and stories are really powerful for social media. We had a client just get a couple million views on a TikTok type post. So anyway, didn't convert a bunch of leads, didn't convert a ton of traffic. That's why we're not prioritizing it, but that's where the attention and the eyeballs are in. So if you have the right offer at the right time for the right people, you could see some results there. But again, Facebook groups right now are just such a huge opportunity that's really undertapped for our industry and for farm to table producers. So step number 5, the nitty gritty. This is where the money starts happening. Now, you're going to be surprised that we're talking about email in such a way, but the business you are in is the business of marketing your farm to table product. You're not in the business of producing your product. Yes, you're a producer. Yes, you have to produce a premium product. But if you produce a premium product and no one knows about it, you're not going to sell it. You're not going to make a living. This is just going to be a hobby. You're always going to have to work an off-farm job or have several Etsy accounts and do babysitting on the side. You'll never be able to create the type of success that you deserve and that you actually could with some adjustments. So we're bullish on email because, listen, email is your email list is your number one business asset. It's not the animals you're raising or the property that you have. Your asset, the business asset that really matters, is a list of past and prospective customers, because you could send them any offer, whether you've produced it or not. You could send them an offer and make a sale, or you could pre-sell something right now and have cash flow. This is the true cash flowing asset in your business. Again, everything else is either a liability or it's the actual product. And until you have people to buy it, the product itself kind of doesn't really matter. Harsh, right? You're hearing me say email and you're like, email? That has not been a thing since the early 2000s. It's not true. In fact, the first email was sent in like 1971 or something like that. So if you haven't really figured out the email thing yet, you're actually really behind. By now, decades behind. So we highly encourage you to figure out the email thing, and I want to help you with that right now. Your marketing ROI, your return on investment on any type of traditional marketing is, here's the thing. For every $1 you spend on marketing for email, you can get about $39 to $40 back. Whereas if you were to spend that same amount of investment in these other areas, you're struggling. It's hard to get a return on ad spend there. It's hard to get a return on investment there. Your email will outperform. By the way, this study was done, like we made this chart, okay? But this study was done from HubSpot, multi-billion-dollar company that many corporations are running all of their communications through. So they understand exactly the results people are getting across all industries. And I would say it's even higher in our industry. About 85% of farm to table products are purchased through email. By the way, in the same study that HubSpot did of this little chart that we put together at Farm Rebel, 50%, HubSpot found out that 50% of all adults make a purchase through email each and every month. So this is the opportunity. This is the real opportunity where you're going to make money. This is really what we teach in our program too, by the way. It's the writing of these types of emails called copywriting, and acquiring the customer or acquiring the lead is one thing, but really what produces and generates the sales is the email aspect. And I'll talk to you a little bit about how we can do that, or about how you can do that. So what we want to do is, once we have our list built, the number one asset in our business, a list of past and prospective customers, at least their email. Cell phone would be great too, because text marketing is incredible. It's incredible. But emails, again, 50% of all adults every month are making a purchase through email, and 85% of all farm to table products are purchased through an email. We need to get really good at email. We need to be great at email. And more importantly, we need to be really consistent with email. But what we want to do to that list is we want to create that irresistible offer that we talked about. Create an offer for your avatar. Solve a problem, help them accomplish a dream, stand against one of their enemies. All of these things. We want to do that in such a way with our product, create that irresistible offer, and then just send it to them in an email consistently. And that's where sales happen. And the way we do that is we write email copy. Again, if you're getting nothing out of this today, Google things like direct response marketing, direct response copy, direct response emails, and the whole world will open up for your marketing of how to get results. So highly recommend. If you're getting nothing out of this today, you don't like me, you don't like my whiny, high-pitched voice, you're not feeling this, you're not understanding what I'm saying, direct response marketing, email copywriting, Google those things and you'll get what you need to start making sales. And that is really important to us. That's part of our mission at Farm Rebel. Whether you ever want to hang out with us or not, it's fine. We still want to empower you. So here we go. Writing email copy. How do we do that? Nope, that's optimization. Here's how we write email copy that works. I'm going to give you 4 steps. I don't have a slide for this. I thought I had a slide for this. I'm going to give you 4 steps right now. So if you're taking notes, here are the 4 parts of an email that if you send this email, you will start getting sales consistently over time. By the way, there's several types of emails. But the one I'm going to teach you right now is this. It's a 4-step email. Again, here it is. Step number 1, tell a quick story. Step number 2, transition. Number 3, offer. And number 4, call to action. So let me explain these. Part number 1, you want to tell a story. You want to tell a quick story. By the way, human beings, we're wired for story. Story ingratiates us. Story binds us together. Story is where we get our identity. Story, story, story. We're wired to receive stories. Okay. So get good at telling quick, short stories. By the way, it could be anything. It doesn't even need to be that great. As a test one time, I told our clients that I bet that I could write an email about stubbing my toe and make a sale. And lo and behold, I wrote this email about how I was so excited to sit down and write this email that as I was running over, I stubbed my toe on the fireplace. And I have a gash on my foot right now. I taped it up real quick just so I could write this email and get it out to you. Here's the offer. That was the email. And it did really well. Our clients actually made sales off of that as a promotional email. The next day, I wrote another email about how, do you ever notice how you never stub your toe, but after you stubbed your toe, within 24 to 48 hours, you tend to do it again? I talked about day 2 of, well, I just stubbed my toe again, which reminded me about the email I sent you yesterday. Just wanted to let you know, we still have XYZ. Here's the offer. Made sales. So get great at telling a story. It could be anything. People want to know like what life on your farm's like, what life in your business is like, what your business is succeeding in, what you're struggling with. They want that authentic connection. So if you could tell a quick 3 to 4 lines of a story to really bring them in, or if you got a crazy one, maybe you raise goats and a goat was giving birth and it was breached and you had to get in there with some gloves and help that thing out. That's an interesting story. That's normal life on a farm, but the type of people you're attracting, they're not growing up on farms. They're not other farmers. They're more likely people in a city or more of a less of a rural area, more of a suburban area. They just don't know, and they're really interested. They idealize it. They think it's just like a fairy tale. Give them the real. Give them the real. Tell them about what's happening every day. Tell them what's happening in your business. And tell them what's happening in the news. Maybe you saw a news story about this company did this thing or this government made that decision, and here's how it's going to affect everybody, and here's why you need to stock up right now. So start with a little bit of a story only. Start there. Then you want a transition statement, just a transition sentence of, and here's why we should talk about this, or here's why I've put this together, or this reminded me of. You want to transition from the story into a reason why you're telling them about the offer. And so, which reminded me, ... or, oh, I almost forgot ... if the story doesn't tie together nicely. It doesn't have to fit in together like Russian nesting dolls. You just have to tell a story to get in there, get in that psychology, to reel them in, to bring them into you, and then transition into, hey, today I wanted to tell you about ... whatever you got to say, but make sure you're transitioning it so they don't feel like it's still part of the story and they're lost. Make one line that's really a clear transitional statement that you're going to tell them about something else. Step number 3, give them an offer. Again, you're not just selling your product. You're not just selling pork, chicken. You're not just selling fruit. You're selling an offer, not a product. So what's the offer? Tell them exactly what they're getting. Name it something cool. Name it something cool that is going to solve a problem. So if it's like, it's like, I'm trying to get a 6-pack. I'm your customer. I want a 6-pack. So maybe it's like the 6-pack abs beef bundle or something, right? Just spitballing here, but you want to tie the name of what your offer is to the solution or to the problem or to the dream that your avatar has. Just make it really clear. This is for them, not just groceries for the masses. So tie together that offer with a great title. Tell them exactly line by line, bullet point, what's in it. How many are they getting? How much does it weigh? What does it normally cost at full price? And then tell them how much your offer is today. And then call to action. This is where we tend to fall apart. This is the offer part. The second half is where most people fall apart. The offer, fumble there a little bit. You're in the mindset of, this is what I produce. This is what it is. Take it or leave it. But we want to really create an irresistible offer for them. The next part is call to action. We have to tell them to click the button to buy. We forget this part. This is like a business card without a phone number on it. Okay, it doesn't do you any good. Make sure that at the end of every email, you give them a call to action. Give them a little bit of an offer, but definitely give them a call to action. Click here to check out our latest whatever, or click here to grab one of the few remaining bundles of whatever. Click here to subscribe and receive every month make sure they know they need to click the button or click the link to actually be taken to a product page and to actually order. So those are the 4 steps of writing email copy. Tell a quick story, transition out of the story with a statement like, which reminds me, or that's why, or I forgot, or today is ... Just transition out of the story, give them an offer, an irresistible offer that they would feel stupid if they didn't take you up on right now. And then the last one is make sure you tell them to click the button to buy, click the link here below, give them a call to action to actually progress forward in the transaction. A quick word on email copy. Part 2, send newsletters every week, no matter where you're at in your season, no matter where you're at in your business. Every Friday, you should be dropping a newsletter. Friday is typically payday for most people. Friday is typically like, we're starting to think about the weekend, grocery shopping that needs to be done. We're starting to think about all the fun things we want to do. We're blowing work off now to start planning these things. So make sure every Friday you're dropping newsletter. Tell them what life on the farm's like. Give them some kind of recommendation of something you're using around the house that's working great, or a recipe or an idea. Share customer testimonials, and then always make an offer, right? So more on that. We can talk about that some other time if you want, but newsletters can end up being the primary generator of sales in your business if you do them consistently and if you make them truly valuable for your customers. So those were the 4 steps of an email, but also keep in mind, you also want to send a Friday newsletter when you can. Also, the more you email, the more sales you'll make. People get really freaky on this. They're like, I don't want to send too much. Listen, you're only going to do X number of people are going to open it anyway. So make sure you're hitting it as often as you can. And if it's a day where you have an actual offer and there's a limited number, send multiple emails that day and you will make more sales. So you should be making about $3 to $4 per person on your email list every month. So if you have 1,000 people on your email list, you should have about $3,000 to $4,000 a month that you're generating just from email. So as an example, I know I packed a lot in there, but that's like one of my favorite things to talk about. And that's where the money is. So I want to make sure I give you something that you guys can make money with. Step number 6 in building a 7-figure farm to table business, direct to consumer, is optimization. You need to know your numbers. So part of why direct response marketing is so powerful is it isn't spray and pray. It's we're tracking these things down so we know what dials to turn so that we can get results, or where things are broken so that we can improve it and get results. So we got to know our numbers. ROAS, what is your return on ad spend? For every dollar I put in, how many dollars am I getting back? Is it 3, 4, 5? Is it $10? Is it $20? Is it just $1? Am I just breaking even on ads? Maybe I need to tweak some things with my ads. Typically it's ad creative, by the way. If your ads aren't working, a lot of times the targeting's off, dial in the targeting, and then it's creative. Get the copy and the image or the video right. So anyway, ROAS, return on ad spend. What's our opt-in rate? When people are coming to our page, how many people are actually subscribing or entering the giveaway, or opting into the newsletter? That's really important. We want to know, is it 27%? Is it 5%? How can we maximize that number so that I know if I'm spending $100 a day on ads or $10 a day on ads and 27% are coming through, is this a good ad? Is the funnel okay? Is the website okay? What do we need to tweak here to make sure that the most number of people that are coming in are actually opting in? What's our open rate on our emails? If I send an email, am I getting at least a 10 to 20% open rate? If not, we need to get better at our subject lines. We need to make sure that there's not a problem with deliverability. We might need to resend this email a few times with different subject lines. We may need to send it from multiple email addresses. So what can we gather from the open rate? So we need to optimize. If people aren't opening our email, they're not making sales. That 50% of adults every month that purchase through email, that 85% of farm to table sales every month aren't coming through. That means our open rate probably is the first thing we need to look at in terms of our emails. And then our CTR, our click-through rate. Cool, 30% of everybody who opened the email or had the email opened it, but less than 1% are clicking through to actually make a transaction, actually purchase. Well, we need to make sure that we're sending them the right offer. We need to make sure that we actually have a clear call to action so they know to click. or that they're encouraged to click and complete a transaction. So click-through rate, and then conversion rate. When they're hitting the product page, are they actually buying? If not, well, then we need to re-clarify and restate the offer on the product page. We probably need a headline. We probably need a stronger call to action. We probably need better product photos, or we probably need more photos of us so they know we're farmers. We're real, genuine, authentic people here and not just some company. What's the conversion rate? So optimization is about knowing our numbers. It's like Peter Drucker says, we measure what matters. And these things matter in such a way that when we can see what our numbers are, we know what we need to do next to really get results with our marketing. And then number 7 is scaling. It's important to know this. No matter where you are right now and no matter where you want to be, what got you here will not get you there. Doing more of the same only gets you the results that you're currently getting. So if you get step 1 through 6 right in this system, if you do 1 through 6 right, doing more of 1 through 6 will only be addition. It won't be multiplication. You are now in a very different business. So now you need to know, what do I need to do to scale? Maybe you need to dial in your shipping and fulfillment. Maybe it's expensive. Maybe you need to raise your prices so that you can include shipping and fulfillment, or even start shipping and then still add the shipping and pass that along to the customer. Maybe it's like, I need to test different boxes and different packing materials at a cheaper cost to make sure that the product's still arriving, A, on time, B, undamaged, right? Safely. So, and then the next thing is leadership and mindset. So these are just examples, right? But these are the things that we like to teach once we get past the basics of marketing. Next thing is leadership and mindset. If you're not operating from the right paradigm, none of this will make sense. If you're not operating from the right paradigm, you will always struggle financially no matter how much your income increases. When it comes to leadership, are you leading yourself and others well? Because the leader of an organization is always the bottleneck. The results that you're not getting in your business has very little to do with any external factor except for your leadership ability. Huge, huge. We should always be looking to get better at leading ourselves and leading others well. And then the last one's hiring. Hiring is a stinking nightmare when we don't know how to do it right. We attract the wrong people. We attract people that aren't passionate about our mission, that they couldn't care less about accomplishing the vision. Okay. These are the kind of people who don't like to stay after. These are the kind of people who say, that's not my job. And they're everywhere. Hiring is not fun. It can be difficult unless you have the right standard operating procedures in place. So unless you have the right hiring SOPs, right? So scaling, and a completely different thing. What got you here, but it won't get you there. So you need to figure out what we need to do to scale beyond our 6 to 7 figures, right? So huge, important. We're going to skip this. This one's a little long. This is good though. This is our friend Josh, who, when he was working with us, he actually was blowing off the whole process. He was like, I'm too busy. I'm out with the animals, until life forced him in a situation where he actually broke his arm. He got kicked by an animal. His arm was broken. He was in a sling and he couldn't do anything. So what he started to do was the program. In fact, what he did was the promotional partnerships. He knew he had time. So he sat down on Instagram, started following all the CrossFit gyms in his area, in I think the county, which ended up being like 200 something. He reached out to all of them offering, hey, we want to do a free giveaway to your CrossFitters. We want nothing in return. We'll provide you with the graphics. We'll provide you with the post copy. Just want to help you grow your business, or help you with your audience, and maybe they'll want to do business with us. When he did that, his business exploded. Again, I won't get into it. We already did some success stories, but just to let you know, the partnership thing is real. This really works. And sometimes life will force you into a situation to be successful. And we don't want to do that. We want to make the commitment. We want to make the decision on the front end that, yes, I want to win with this. This is how I want to create the income I deserve. And this is what I'm willing to do to make it happen. And again, life forced Josh in that situation. So that's when he saw success. That's what worked for him, is the partnerships. So highly, highly recommend partnerships. So want to keep things moving here. So let me ask you, do you feel like you just had to drink from a fire hose? Do you feel like I just made you drink from a fire hydrant? It was a lot. I'm still catching my breath from everything we got through together, but would like to encourage you. We have some free resources we can give you. We can get you on the phone actually with some of our trained team members to book a breakthrough session. So I taught you step 1 through 7. Now the question is, what's the next right step for you in your business? We're all in different places in our business. We're all in different areas producing different things. So here's the offer to you, a free thing for you to take advantage of. We want to help empower local farm to table producers. That's it. That's the mission. And so to do that, we like to do that through things like seminars. But the next thing to do is hop on a call with one of our team members and see, hey, what is the next thing I need to do to really start seeing results selling direct to consumer? And so with that, we'll hand this back over to Nina. Maybe she has some things to say, or maybe it's time for Q&A. So
yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Jarrett. That was an amazing presentation. Definitely a lot of information, but a lot of very helpful information. So thank you. Yeah, I think we should just jump into the Q&A here. So I'll kick it off. I have a question here from Carissa. She's asking, do you have any tips for email marketing to ensure that your emails don't end up in the spam box?
Yeah, there's a couple things to do. First of all, it's important that you have an automated email that goes out as soon as people opt in. We tend to call this a welcome series where you're telling your story over 7 days, but the first email should trigger as soon as they opt in. And it should be to get them to reply, not click a link and go see an offer, but to reply. Be like, hey, I just want to make sure you got this. I'm not great with technology. Can you hit reply so I know you got this email? Your farmer, your name, right? So something as simple as that. Or, hey, we want to make sure here's how we raise our product, or here's how we produce our product. We want to know what things are important to you. Is it that it's organic? Is it that it's not GMO? Is it that we raise it this way or that? So many products represented here, right? But which of these things are most important for you and your family? Can you reply and let us know? Just some way to get them to take action so it doesn't look like they've opted into a spam thing. So you want your ESP, your email service provider, to recognize that you're creating great, valuable content. This is an actual relationship they wanted to be in. And the way to do that is to first, when somebody opts in, make sure that they respond in some way. So that's number one. Number two is if you're sending a ton of email and you're not getting any engagement, if nobody's opening, you need to test different subject lines. So there's a whole philosophy around that, but different subject lines, something funny, something intriguing and interesting, maybe something mysterious, something right on the nose about something that's happened in the news that could tick somebody off and make them want to open, or ask a question that they'll want to answer. So make sure you're testing different subject lines for opens, because if you're just sending tons of emails and nobody's opening, the ESPs will start they'll either start putting you in the spam box or promotion tab. And yeah, so those are two things there. A third thing is, if you've been doing this for a while and it seems like these aren't being delivered quite right, and you just don't have the open rates, and you've tested subject lines, now it's turning into a actual deliverability issue. And you might want to test sending the same email under a different email address. So if your farm is like jarrettsfarm.com, try sending it under like jarrettsfarm.net, same email. That is another way to make sure that you're sending the email and that it's getting past the ESPs. I guess a fourth thing would be, I don't know, that's already a lot. I don't want to overwhelm you, but there's like several things you can do to really make that work. But the fourth thing to do is start segmenting your email list based on opens. So you could do it of the last people who've opened over the last 7 days, people who've opened over the last month, 6 months, 90 days. Start segmenting them. You'll have to send emails differently or at different times to different lists. But segmenting those, and then the inactive ones, start pushing them all off on another list, because they are who's actually hurting that deliverability in the promotions tab.
Got it. No, those are great tips. That's awesome. Question here from Larry. How do you test an ad? What is the process? And I guess the same about email. So how could you like A/B test an email?
Cool. Let's start with ads, because the ad one, I mean, these are two different answers, but it usually comes down to the same principle. So when you're testing an ad, assuming that your target is who you want to go after. So if it's like people of a certain interest, so maybe if it's people who are like fans of Joe Rogan or something, or if it's people with a 1% net worth or 10% highest income earners, however you find your audiences to target. Once that's dialed in, the ads themselves come down to the creative. It's what copy are you putting in the post and what images are you showing? But you can only test one of those at a time to know if they're working. If you test everything, you won't know where is the traffic coming from, which ads are working. So what we do is we separate each one out. You start with, I like this version of my copy. Here's another version. You want to test a different headline. You want to test a different offer. You want to test a different call to action. So those are 3 types of copy. So you have like, I wrote the copy. Now here's 3 different headlines. Here's 3 different offers, and here's 3 different calls to action. So you can test all of those. Usually that's not as powerful or as important as what the image is. Facebook prioritizes what the images / videos are. So when you run one ad, you always want to test 3 to 5 different images or videos to go with that ad. That's how you test those. For email, it's important to test subject lines. And so the way you can do that is you can segment the list and say 50% of the list is going to get this subject line, and this half of the list is going to get this subject line. Or, and a number of email service providers, like we use Drip as our ESP, you can, and we do split test. We do split test this subject line versus that subject line to each segment. But another thing you can do, the easier thing to do, is as you're sending that email, there's often an option to choose to resend the email in a day or two to people who haven't opened it yet. And we like to do that to test subject lines quickly. And we'll select that option. So it will resend the same email in a day or two, but it lets you change the subject line. So then you change the subject line there. And now you have a test in a day or two of people who haven't opened to see if, is this going to increase my open rate in a day or two? So that's another way to test. With emails, the important things to test are subject line, offer, and call to action. And those, the call to action is tested through the offer, and the call to action is actually tested or measured through your CTR, your click-through rate. So when you start playing with those, your click-through rate will increase or decrease based on what was working or not. So that's like the bare minimum of how we would test.
Cool. Back to ads. Have you noticed that video or static images perform better? Just curious.
Yeah, video does tend to pull better, but convincing producers to do a video is sometimes difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I would recommend. To create a video, use your phone, turn it sideways, and then here's kind of like the 4-part ad that I would tell you to do. And it, by the way, it doesn't have to look perfect. You don't have to say it perfectly. The fact that you're a real farmer, you're a real producer, is what's going to pull people in. It's that authenticity that you can't fake in a studio with professionals and voiceovers and high quality equipment. So stand on your farm somewhere where it's pretty and that you have decent lighting on your face. Turn your phone sideways, horizontally, and then here's the 4 parts of what you would say that I would deliver. Here's what this is. Here's what it'll do for you. Here's why you should listen to me. And here's what to do next. So here's what it is. Hey, so-and-so with this farm, we have this product available. Here's what it is. Here's what we'll do for you. If you're looking for product that's going to help with, what is it going to help with? Is it gut health issues, digestion issues? Is it gout? Is it inflammation of any kind? Is it heart healthy? Is it better for people that are struggling with kidney disease? Like, obviously I'm going really negative here, but if it's like, hey, this is really convenient, you can trust the farmer and have a relationship with us, versus going to a big box store and not knowing where your food came from, whatever it is. Here's what it is. Here's what it'll do for you. The third one is here's why you should listen to us, which is, hey, we're a local farmer here in this neighborhood. You can have a relationship with us, which you can't anywhere else. And here's why that's important. I'm right here. You can walk on the farm at any given point and have a relationship and know exactly where your food's coming from. Or, hey, we've been doing this for 15 years. I'm actually a dietitian by trade. Or, hey, I'm retired as an XYZ. And I just thought it would be great to be a farmer. And boy, was I right. We love the people we serve. Okay, here's what it is. Here's what it'll do for you. Here's why you should listen to us. A little bit of a credibility builder. Maybe you have X number of customers that are repeat. Maybe you've won awards. Some credibility builder on the third part. And here's what to do next. Like, here's how to actually order. Go ahead and click the learn more button below this video, and you'll be taken to a page to see if maybe we're a fit to work with you, or a fit to send you product, or exactly what you're looking for. So obviously spitballing there, but the 4 steps are, here's what it is, here's what it'll do for you, here's why you should listen to us, and here's what to do next. If you can kind of stumble through each of those, that is like every structure of copy for every ad or email like ever. So yeah, turn your phone sideways, make sure you're facing the sun or a light source. And then the background's pretty. Maybe there's animals or crops behind you or a tree, whatever, just a pretty background. And there you go. Tell your truth in that 4-step system.
Yeah,
Structure.
great idea. That's awesome. We have time for a few more questions here. So a quick one here from Amy. Which email platform do you recommend, like i.e. MailChimp, for your tracking optimization?
I like MailChimp when I'm first getting started, because you can start for, I think, like $0. So you can just jump in and get started with MailChimp. And they really make it intuitive, and they do a really good job providing videos and training. And there's tons of people on YouTube that can walk you through tutorials and things on MailChimp. We use Drip, which is a little more robust. And that's what we recommend to our clients is Drip. I'm saying Drip, D-R-I-P. I don't know if you can tell, because it's just kind of like one of those weird words to say over the internet or over a phone, but it's Drip. And they're great. They're a highly robust. You can grow. The payments grow based on size of the list. That's true with all ESPs. But they're easy to work with. It's who the pros use. And again, kind of the YouTube thing, tons of tutorials and hacks and tips and tricks, tactics and techniques on YouTube. So we love it, because anytime we have a problem, it's really easy to solve it by just looking it up. So those are the 2 I recommend to, if you want to get started or if you really want to scale. So, and with with most email service providers, when you're ready to upgrade to something else, you either can download like an Excel spreadsheet of your list, or you can just migrate it over. There's ways to do that too. So if you get started on one and you want to go to another, there are ways to do that fairly simply in a way that no one falls through the cracks. So those are the 2 I recommend.
That's great to know. Final question here from Cindy. Does Farm Rebel offer sample copy to reach out to partners?
No, but let's talk about that. Because sample copy would imply that you're just copying and pasting the same thing to absolutely everybody. But let me tell you, you can get away with most things by starting with a very sincere and very specific compliment. So here's how I would do it. A compliment sandwich, right? Start with a compliment and with a quick compliment. So no matter who you're reaching out to, say you're going to do this on Instagram because it's easier and you can do it at scale. So you're on Instagram, you follow somebody, and then you hit their DMs. Start with a specific compliment. So maybe there was a specific post that you saw that just resonated with you, or maybe they're a podcaster and then you heard a line in one of their episodes, or maybe they're an author or a business owner and you like a certain product or you like something they said. Say something specific, like, hey, in your podcast last Tuesday, I loved when you said that XYZ. That really resonated with me, and it just really reminded me of where we are right now. And how great. We love that you shared that. That just really resonated with us. That's a super specific compliment rather than, hey, I like your content. Hey, I like your content is spammy. Hey, last week when you said XYZ, or that picture you shared of of your cat just reminded me of my cat Felix. Oh my gosh, so hilarious. That's a lot different. That's a well thought out. You took time. Start with that. And no matter what, you're doing better than everybody else who's going to hit their DMs. Then you kind of get into, I think there's an opportunity for us to share audiences. I'm a farmer who produces this, and I know that a lot of our people are into your content. So it makes me think that maybe this could be an interesting partnership together. Next line. We're doing a giveaway, and we want to do a giveaway in your name on your platform of XYZ product. And to do that, we've created a page or a funnel, and all you have to do is push people to it, and we'll enter them in the giveaway. By the way, we know that you don't have time to create great graphics, so we've actually made a few in Canva that you can use if you'd like. And here's how you can tell people to, and just give them everything they would need to make it happen. Because you want to take all the responsibility of that relationship, because it does, like, because now they're thinking, oh, great, now I got to create a video, now I got to create graphics, and now I got to do all this on top of the fact that they don't know you from Adam, and now you're going to be promoted on their platform. So just make it super easy for them. Lay out how you're going to do it, and then end with, hey, looking forward to, you know, your next piece of content, or hey, tell your cat Felix I said hi, or hey, looking forward to hearing more about that situation, or whatever the case is. Kind of tie that compliment back at the end. That's how I do it. Very logical, but start with that specific compliment and end with tying it all together. So no, I don't necessarily have an email I could share with you currently or right here, right now, but that's how we do it. And that's how we teach people to do it. Start with the compliment and then just be real straightforward. Hey, yeah, we're doing all these nice things. The truth of the matter is, at some point, maybe somebody will want to do business with us. Wink, wink. And so be really upfront and weave in some of that honey and charm at the beginning, and you'll be far ahead of anybody else hitting up their DMs for a favor.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think giving people the template of how they can kind of plug in their own copy is really helpful. So that's
sure.
awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Jarrett. We really appreciate it. If people have more questions for you, how can they best reach out to you or to your team?
Yeah, sure. Booking call is simple. I think that's still up on the page. Our team members will funnel questions to us that we can have answered for you. And that's the best way, because there's like one of me and there's like a handful of those guys and girls. So it's just, that's probably the easiest way to do it. Just get on the call with them or text them and just be like, hey, I had questions about XYZ when Jarrett was talking about with Local Line. So what do you got? You can help me. And by the way, when you're on the call with them, we have tons of resources. So it's great. We're going to tell you like, hey, here's what you could probably do next to grow your business, but ask for resources. They'll probably recommend some, but we have some on shipping, email marketing, like just anything you need help with in your business. We probably have a resource we can give you. Usually it's a doc or an ebook or a video link, whatever. So just let us know. We really want to empower local producers to succeed.
Awesome. That's great. Well, yeah, thanks again for joining us. If anyone has any questions for myself about Local Line, you can find us at site.localline.ca, or you can always shoot me an email at ngally, so NGALLE @localline.ca. Yeah, thank you so much, Jarrett. Again, this presentation is recorded, so we will send out the recording afterwards. So you can stay tuned for your inboxes for that later today. And yeah, thanks so much.
Have a good one.
Thanks. See ya. Bye.